here's why most men rely on motivation instead of discipline. Because discipline is uncomfortable, discipline is boring, and discipline doesn't care how you feel. Motivation lets you feel good in the moment, feel good about planning instead of actually executing. But discipline forces you to execute even when you don't want to.
Yo, Big D in the house, baby. Relentless execution, you already know. This is for the dream chasers, the grinders, the doers. Let's get it. Relentless execution, we don't ever stop. Climbing to the top, we rise like a rocket. Big D's the name, yeah, I'm running the game. From the ground up, now they all know the name. Big D.
Welcome back to the Big D Podcast. This is episode number 64. Today we're going to talk about discipline over motivation. Welcome back to the Big D Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Sachkowsky, and if you're new here, this podcast is built on three pillars that are non-negotiable: wealth, freedom, and relentless execution. Because wealth gives you options, freedom gives you control, and execution is the only thing that separates winners from talkers. Today's episode is one a lot of people say they want, but very few are ready to hear it. Because today we're talking about something that will often offend excuses, expose weakness, and force you to look in the mirror. Today's episode is called Discipline Over Motivation. Before we get into it, I want to shout out to the people who and organizations which support the show that we're building here and have been supporting the show for a long time. First, Ability Tree, we support them. They've went out there and support families who are impacted with disability, real families, real challenges, real impact. This isn't fluff. They are our charity of choice. So we've decided to partner up with Ability Tree to make sure that we get their message out there across the board from the thousands and thousands of listeners here at the Big D Podcast, so that, we can help spread exactly what they're doing, because all they're doing is helping families that are impacted and making a change. So go check out abilitytree.org and follow @AbilityTree on Instagram. Their mission is incredible, and we're so honored to be a part of what they're doing. Also, we want to thank Get What Bam. Get What Bam is one of our sponsors. We have a whole bunch of their products here. These are their hand wipes. This is one of their products. Their fresh air cleaner. They're a company that go out there and really focus on bringing back the original experience and making it look better than the original. We're big into cars, boats, motorcycles. It's something that, I have a passion about, and I've, used every cleaner out there. And every time I use a cleaner, I find out it is just not the right one. After I tried Wabam's products and I was able to see the transformation and bring the original look back even better than when it came from the factory, I was sold out. So I decided to partner up with these guys and really help them get their message out to the market. So go check out getwabam.com. If you're looking for products like this, use code BIGD10 for a discount. Also, Proud Father, you see me wearing their apparel right here. These guys have been with us since pretty much the beginning of the show, and they have an incredible mission for dads out there who are really pushing to be the best, do the best, and serve the best. But go out there and provide for the family, but also be present for the family. So go check out proudfatherapparel.com, and if you're looking at their apparel and you like what you see, use code BIGD15 for a discount. Guys, we ask to support the brands that support us. Support the discipline, support the leadership, support the legacy that all of these guys are bringing to the marketplace. All right, let's get into it. So the hard truth about motivation is, let me start with the truth that's going to piss some people off right now. Motivation is a lie. I talk about it all the time. It's a lie that we've all been sold. It's a lie that weak men keep. And it's a lie that explains that most people will never change. What motivation does is motivation feels good. Motivation sounds good. And motivation sells books, reels, and quotes, but it doesn't sell reality. Motivation doesn't build shit. Just understand that. Motivation is an emotional feeling. Motivation is a temporary feeling. And motivation disappears when things start to get hard. And that's why men who rely on motivation are exactly where they are and why they don't change in their life. Because there's days that they don't feel like doing it. Those days are the days that actually matter. Those days are the ones that, turn the dial and do big things. Oftentimes in our life, when we look back at when we didn't feel like doing things, those were the most impactful moments of our lives, the most challenging and changing moments in our lives when we didn't feel like doing it. Nothing ever comes easy in life. But why do men rely on motivation? Well, here's why most men rely on motivation instead of discipline. Because discipline is uncomfortable. Discipline is boring, and discipline doesn't care how you feel. Motivation lets you feel good in the moment, feel good about planning instead of actually executing. But discipline forces you to execute even when you don't want to. Most men don't want results. They actually want relief. They want to feel inspired. They want to feel fired up. They want to feel validated in the place that they are. But those feelings don't build bodies. They don't build businesses, and they don't build families. Execution is the main factor that builds all that stuff. And execution requires so much discipline. The cost of living off motivation. Let's talk about the real cost of living off motivation if that's the person that you are. If your body is out of shape, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's because you only train when you feel motivated to do so. If your business is inconsistent, it's not because you lack the talent. It's because you only execute when you feel like executing or when it feels good. If your finances are a mess, and I find this common in many men's lives, it's not because the system is rigged. It's because the discipline left the building. And at the end of the day, like, you can only be disciplined in the amount of money or the amount of revenue that you are able to bring in. You're never going to be able to graduate to a higher revenue in your life because you don't have a respect for that money. You don't have a discipline for the money you're bringing in. You bring it in, you're spending it. Bringing in more, you're spending it. And that's why you constantly have this back and forth pendulum that you're living in. Motivation creates a burst, but discipline actually creates a result. Hey guys, quick interruption to the show. We have Joe and Micah here from Ability Tree. Joe, why don't you share with us what you do at Ability Tree?
Hey, yeah, thank you, Dan. So we come alongside families impacted by disability by providing rest, recreation, education, support, and training, basically bringing families impacted by disability out of isolation into community.
Awesome. Hey guys, after this video, you're going to see a link in the caption. Make sure you check out Ability Tree and check out his mission here with Micah. Awesome. What happens where motivated men become motivated, and then what they do is they start things, but they never finish. But disciplined men actually show up and finish the job that they originally signed up for. And finishing is what gets you paid, it gets you respected, it gets you trusted, and it gets you followed by the people who were important in your life. So when motivation was gone, there have been many seasons in my life when motivation was gone and, where I had to step up to the plate. Not low, gone. I mean, there was pressure everywhere. Stress was stacked on top of stress, continually stacked. And people were depending on me. Real quantum effect of like, hey, all this stuff just keeps compounding. But the way I start thinking about it is the way that the change is going to be. I couldn't say, okay, well, poor me, pity me, all this, and I couldn't let that effect bring a reverse factor so that I started burying myself. I had to figure out, hey, man, like, these times are bad. And real consequences really made me show up. If real consequences show up and I don't show up, like, everything's going to stack in a bad way, right? So you think I felt motivated in these bad times. You think I felt motivated in these challenging times. I didn't. I felt tired. I felt overwhelmed. I felt all the weight on my back. But discipline didn't ask me how I felt. The results I needed for my family didn't ask me how I felt. It didn't really care. Discipline said, get up, show up, do the work, handle your responsibilities. But motivation, I realized, abandoned me. But the discipline was carrying me. There's a big difference there. Discipline is a decision. So the framework that I live by is that motivation is an emotion and discipline is an actual decision. You don't wait to feel disciplined. You have to decide if you're going to be disciplined or not. You remove choice from it. You make a decision, yes or no. Waking up time is not a debate. When that alarm clock goes off, if you work off of an alarm clock, you don't hit snooze, you get up. Because if you snooze it, then you snooze everything else in your life. You can allow things to wait because they're not important enough. So how you do anything is how you do everything, right? You've heard that before. So training your body, it's not a debate. Work ethic, it's not a debate. Standards, they are not a debate. Disciplined men do not ask, do I feel like doing it? They ask, what needs to be done, and I'm going to do it now, and when does it need to be done by? What discipline actually does is discipline builds identity. Discipline doesn't just change the results in your life. Discipline changes the identity of you and who you are. Every time you do the hard things when you feel like you didn't want to or just didn't want to do it, you build trust with yourself because you actually still show up. And self-trust, that's a power. Men with no discipline, they actually don't trust themselves. They know they're going to quit. They know they're going to fold, and they know they're going to make an excuse. They just wait for the right time to do so. Disciplined men, they walk very, very differently. They speak differently. They lead differently because they know when it's time to execute, they're not going to disappear, and they're not going to, say, oh, this was the problem, that wasn't the problem. They're going to actually get done what's got to get done no matter what the situation is. What discipline does for us as individuals, for us strong men, is people think that discipline is restrictive, but that's bullshit. Discipline actually creates freedom. It gives you the ability to do more things because now you know that you can challenge yourself and you're actually capable of getting it done. When your body is disciplined, you're very confident. When money is disciplined, you're very calm in your life. When your business is disciplined, you're scalable. And when your life is disciplined, you're an absolutely dangerous man. Chaos feels free in the moment. Understand that. But chaos, man, that shit cages you long term. It keeps you trapped. Discipline may feel heavy now, but discipline is going to open big, big doors later. I promise you that. Talent loses to discipline every single time. So people always think like that guy or that girl is so talented, but at the end of the day, it's the disciplined person who trains and trains and trains and works and works and works, even when nobody's looking, that get the best result. So I've seen insanely talented people fail over and over again, and I've seen average people win big time in life because talent gets super lazy and discipline shows up no matter what because they know the result they're looking for. Consistency builds credibility, and credibility creates opportunity in your life. So you have to look at some of the non-negotiables. What are the non-negotiables? If you want discipline, you need non-negotiables because what you're doing in your life right now isn't even working. Wake up time, non-negotiable. Training, non-negotiable. Work ethic, non-negotiable. Communication, non-negotiable. And personal standards, non-negotiable. When something is non-negotiable in your life, you don't debate it, you execute it. You go after it no matter how you feel. So discipline and self-respect, they work together. Most men don't lack confidence, they lack self-respect. And self-respect is built through discipline. Every skip promise is chip away. Every time you chip away at that, it's just breaking you down to the person that you were supposed to be and you're just never going to be. But every follow through is going to build that. It's going to stack the wins. It's going to stack the results that your life deserves as long as you're showing up and you're doing it, not only when you feel like it. So another thing that matters a lot is your environment. And this was a wake-up call for me in 2026 coming into the new year, just kind of like journaling and looking at a lot of stuff I was thinking about and, reflecting on some of the people in my life, some of the associations in my life, and just some of the surroundings. Not things that I couldn't control, but just things that I saw myself around, maybe even if it was little. Because of the person I am, I knew that as I'm growing and evolving as a person, like these things just have to keep dumping out. I got to keep dumping them because I got to be able to fill the cup with something that's going to bring me to better places. And this is something that I do all the time. And just reflecting that in a new year, I took some time, the last day of the year as we were going into January, and I said, like, what are these things that I need to release because I've overcome them or I've outgrown them or whatever they were. And I just started making a list and I just started checking them off one by one. I couldn't be emotional about it. And I just knew that I had to make these changes because if I wanted to grow into that next version of myself, let's say going into this year, I was going to have to release all that back pressure. But most men, they try to feel disciplined alone. They try to do it by themselves, but willpower will always fail. Environment will shape your behavior. So that's what I mean. Like, you have to look at your surroundings. This is why masterminds work. This is why coaching works. This is why spending time with people who have a common future, not a common past, create alignment in your world. So when discipline is normal in your environment, your excuses die very quickly. So understand that disciplined men, they earn way more money. They have a lot less stress lead better as individuals, as fathers, as bosses, as whatever they are. They get better trust from the people around them because people actually see that they're doing what they're saying. They're just not saying something but not executing. And they get followed because people want to identify what that leadership looks like and they want to figure it out. So they want to be followed into a place where they can follow a trusted person who's actually doing the work. So same world, just different standards. So you have to understand that it's your job to surround yourself with the right people. It's your job to be disciplined. It's your job to understand that motivation doesn't last. I love it when people say, hey, you motivate me. That's bullshit. I can't motivate you. I can inspire you. I can't make you do anything. You have to make yourself do it. But you have to realize that motivation is nothing. It's just an excuse that you're looking for something. How many times have you heard, I need you to motivate me? And I simply say, like, I can't do that. That's not something I can do. I can't tell you when to get out of bed. I can't make you brush your teeth. I can't make you wipe your ass. Like, that's something that you have to do. Okay, I can inspire you to tell you why you should and what it can do for you, but I can't actually make you do it. So if you're relying on motivation, then I can just tell you that 2026 is not going to look any different than last year did. But if you're ready to build discipline by design, link up with some of the key people that are going in that direction. I also have some things in line. I have a mastermind where, you got some top level individuals, 25 to 30 entrepreneurs in the same room at the same time. The entire year of 2026, we have 2 outlets. We have one in New Jersey and one in Florida. So if you're looking to get around these people, let me know. Go check out bigdmastermind.com. You can get all the information there. We do 4 events a year. So whenever you sign up, you'll be able to, every single quarter for the next year, whenever that falls, you'll be participating with high level entrepreneurs in the same room, proximity, and that power will take you to the next level of your life. And also coaching. If you're looking for someone to challenge you, change you, you see what I've done, you see some of my students, you see the results. And at the end of the day, that this is what I was built to do. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've been disciplined. I've been undisciplined. But I realized that, all the things that worked in my life were the reason why I got put here. And I now need to go out there and show people how they can excel at their higher levels. So go check out bigdcoaching.com /one-on-one. And, let me know. You could also just check out bigdcoaching.com and it'll take you to all my resources, anything I got out there. And you'll be able to see everything. You'll see testimonials. You'll see everything that takes you to a point of where your direction is in front of you and where you can go, but you're not going to be able to do it by yourself, and you're not going to be able to do it with motivation. So I want to close by talking again about the sponsors and the people that are part of the Big D podcast. Ability Tree, we talked about them earlier. Supporting families that are carrying a ton of weight day by day. Check out abilitytree.org. Check them out on Instagram at abilitytree. And I want to have a special thank you again to Proud Father Apparel. Thank you guys so much. Go support them, guys. Check out their website, proudfatherapparel.com, code BIGD15. You get a discount on any of their apparel. And also Wabam. Check out Wabam, getwabam.com. If you like your stuff clean, crisp, beautiful looking, better than showroom, check them out and use code BIGD10. So guys, this is the Big D podcast. We focus on wealth, freedom, relentless execution, and understand something. Motivation fades, discipline remains. Build discipline in your life now and follow. Do me a favor, guys. Like, subscribe, because 70% of you guys who are watching this podcast aren't even subscribed. Share it. Help get the message out there. This is how we can expand what we're doing here, by you sharing what you felt here with other people. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Yo, Big D in the house, baby. Relentless execution, you already know. This is for the dream chasers, the grinders, the doers. Let's get it. Relentless execution, we don't ever stop. Climbing to the top, we rise like a rocket. Big D's the name, yeah, I'm running the game. From the ground up, now they all know the name. Big D. Started from the bottom, had a vision so clear. Building empires from the sweat and the tears. Serial entrepreneur, that's the brand I wear. In the game for the long haul, I'm always prepared. From the business to the podcast, always making moves. Every step calculated, never losing the groove. Study the greats, now I'm making my own rules. Success in my blood, ain't no way I'll lose. I got systems, got strategies, laid out the plan. Built a dynamic lifestyle, that's the Big D brand. Raised a family on vision, now I take a stand. Roadmap to success, it's in the palm of my hand. Relentless execution, we don't ever